Is that I'm a critic and welcome. We're concluding the AFC North by talking about the team that was so close of at least going to the Super Bowl, and that's the division winners, Baltimore Ravens. And with 9 picks, are they better than Lamar Jackson MVP season and conference number 1 seed playoff positioning? Let's see. Sometimes it's amazing when you see teams as formidable as the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Eagles, and company, and then you see that, wow, you feel like they're already, solidified for the next few years to be contenders. But Baltimore comes in saying no, and they've got 9 picks in this year. They almost got double digits. 9 picks in all different variety. Some I question with a big question mark, and some I'm thinking, you got that guy? Interesting. So, 9 picks, long video. Let's get to it. So, with the 30th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Nate Wiggins, cornerback, Clemson. I honestly thought they might go linebacker on this one. Since the departure of Patrick Queen, I thought maybe they were trying to find the best linebacker to come in and help out. I mean, they got Roquan Smith already in there, but I feel like maybe they wanted to get it. I mean, you got Kyler Van Noy. I get that too. But I just feel like, you sure you don't want to get a linebacker? I know interior linebackers don't really scream yay for most teams, but I just feel like I thought they might go linebacker or, maybe even edge rusher just to help out too. I thought they would have done something, but they went with corner with Nate Wiggins. I understand Humphrey and Stevens are their current starters right now, so Nate Wiggins might get some playing time in package formation setup, but maybe this is more of an investment for the future, depending on what happens with their cornerback situations as time and age and progression continues. So maybe this was honestly a Baltimore Ravens pick to say, let's get the best available. I mean, I can hear some people probably thinking they probably should have gotten a receiver. Because the receiving core, besides Zay Flower, didn't really scream, scary. It still feels more like, oh, you have receivers. Cool. So that's probably why I was thinking that too. But Nate Wiggins not a bad pick. I'm actually quite surprised he dropped all the way to 30th. Because there was a lot of teams that were thinking that he could have gone probably as early as 17th. But sometimes situations happen and he's on a contending team, so it's not like he's complaining too much. But I just honestly thought the Ravens might go a different direction because I feel like there were still talented players, especially in the receiving department, to match up with Zay Flowers. I'm not saying that Aguilar and Bateman are scrubs. I just felt like, dude, we all know who the Chiefs got. And we also know that there was a good Texas wide receiver that didn't get picked in the first round that many thought he should have been. So it's just, I don't know. I don't hate the pick. I just feel like I thought maybe you could have gone a different direction. And speaking of direction, you just took your time. And with the 62nd overall pick in the second round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Roger Rosengarten, offensive tackle, Washington. So we're going to stick with that offensive lineman and Washington player pickup. And we're going to go with their future right tackle in Roger. Sometimes it's hard to evaluate Lamar Jackson because sometimes you feel like if his athleticism is a factor because of his play style or because the protection breaks down and he has to run for his life. So sometimes it's hard to evaluate that when you get an offensive lineman, especially a tackle, to protect him and not think, well, 9 times out of 10, even if he doesn't feel pressured, he might just find an opening and take off anyway. So it's not like, Roger will have to stay in the pocket all along for Pat while Lamar Jackson keeps figuring out what to do. Sometimes Lamar will probably go like 6-7 Mississippis and be like, okay, nobody's open, screw this, I'm gone, and he runs for like 60 yards. So this feels more like, Lamar, we're giving you protection so you can stay in the pocket so you don't have to take off. Plus, we don't want you to get hurt. We've seen every season that when you got hurt from an ankle injury because of your running ability and the player's going low on you to stop you from running, it has hurt the chemistry of the offense as much as we try to overcome it. Plus, we got Derrick Henry now, so therefore, you don't have to worry about running for your life or using run design play. We have running backs to help out with that. And honestly, when we have you run, it'll be more of a surprise you running. So this is probably more of giving Lamar confidence to stay in the pocket, probably a little bit more, knowing that his right side is being protected, same as his left side being protected by Stanley. So this could be more of Lamar giving you time to throw so you don't have to run every time you panic after 4 seconds. Then the Ravens did nothing again. They just waited for their turn. And with the 93rd selection in the third round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Adaius Isaac, edge, Penn State. This is the position I probably thought they were going to go in the first round. Who were they going to get? I don't have the draft players in front of me, so I can't think of the top of my head, but I thought they were going to consider it. There were some players that got picked up late, and I feel like some of it was some offensive linemen, some edge rushers, and some quarterbacks, Denver, where you just felt that you picked them because you felt like if you didn't, that position would probably have not been compensated appropriately when you pick the player in that position later. This feels like not a need, as in I thought we'd do with the whole with Patrick Queen thing, but to me this feels very much like they got Kyler Van Noy from free agency. They got Roquan Smith in the middle. This feels more as a rotational player, fresh pass rusher when you're going against Joe Burrow, Russell or Fields, and for the sake of argument, Winston and Watson. You have a lot of quarterback with all the unique styles and skills and athleticism in that division alone. Some may play, some may not. That fresh legs in the pass rush department, especially from a school like Penn State, which we all know had great linebacking core in its history, none as much famous as Micah Parsons. That you just feel, and also Chop Robinson, who got picked up by Miami, was another great acquisition. Another great contributing factor to the Penn State defensive front. That Isaac probably may not get all the attention like his teammate Robinson did, but maybe that's the point. Maybe he's not meant to take all the attention away from their defense, but he's meant to contribute, because I felt like against the Chiefs, Mahomes had all day to throw. And maybe some teams like the Ravens, like the Bengals, even the Browns, you want to put in that conversation, and everyone else in the conference of the AFC, it's not so much beating the team in your division as you need to be ready to beat Mahomes in the playoffs, whether he's at home or away, because at times it feels like he's untouchable in every aspect if you don't have a pass rusher to harass him. We've seen what Tampa did in the Super Bowl, so we know that Mahomes, like any good quarterback, they get harassed, they get flustered, they get happy feet, tap, 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 sack Mahomes in the back. Then in the fourth round, with the 113th selection of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Devontae Walker, wide receiver, North Carolina. So, I'll keep harping on this. They got a receiver and an edge rusher, probably later than I thought they were going to get. Now, Devontae Walker was teamed up with third overall selection in Drake May. So take that as you will, that he knows how to work with a great quarterback, and he was a major contributing factor to that great successful quarterback in his time at UNC. Now, looking at the receiving core, he's viewed as a backup of Zay Flower, but he gets a now sticker, if not anything else, but because receiving core needs to go through rotation. We'll see how much chemistry he can develop with Lamar Jackson. I feel like Lamar Jackson will have more chemistry, as always, with Mark Andrews, because that tight end and quarterback chemistry is just stable. I mean, look at Drew Brees, Jimmy Graham, Brady and Gronk, Mahomes and Kelsey. So sometimes just feel, hell, you make an argument for me, Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates. You can make that argument too. That sometimes quarterbacks just love their tight end a little bit more because they're a safety valve and they're athletic as hell. They become more formidable often than you ever thought they could be. But I'm giving Walker the now sticker because of the rotation thing, because I have a hard time. Aguilar has been history of dropping. That's probably what caused him a lot of his team to, probably use him as either a scapegoat or just say too much of a gamble to bring you back for more. I feel like Aguilar's speed is what keeps him probably still in most rosters. His speed is great. And Bateman, I feel like Bateman will probably thrive better in a different offense for whatever reason. I feel like Bateman is not being utilized as well as he probably would like to, but he's still a good possession receiver. And with Walker coming in, hopefully that will give Lamar more toys. And with the protection by Roger, the offensive tackle out of Washington could potentially, maybe Lamar will pass more times and not have to worry about running the ball every 3 or 4 seconds in the pocket because he feels that if I stay too long, I'm going to get sacked. Then within the fourth round, with the 130th selection of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select TJ Tampa, cornerback, Iowa State. Is it wrong that I felt like I really wish TJ would have went to Tampa? Like, seriously? TJ Tampa, welcome to Tampa Bay. Wow, they named the city after me. No, it's already been named Tampa before you got here, buddy. Thank you, though. I thought it would have been like a cool, side story. Like, hey, look, TJ Tampa came to Tampa Bay. It's funny. But of course, the NFL may be scripted, but it's not scripted for comedy. It's scripted for drama. We all know that. So TJ coming there, they got, like I said, they got Wiggins. They still got Stevens and Humphrey already lined up. Marcus Hamill and Kyle Hamilton are okay. I just feel like their secondary is full of quality, talented players, and you just drafted another talented receiver who's not even projected to be a starter right away. He might give you the third one, only gets playing time based on the offensive scheme when it comes to the receiving threats. How many receivers do they have out there? Not saying it's a bad, but I'm putting him as TJ as a later that maybe because of injuries could play a factor into his playing time. I just don't feel the sense of everyone else is sucking, so he'll get playing time based on that. I don't see that. So, I mean, for all I know, it might be Humphrey and Wiggins, by week 4, for all we know. And then that'll be their starting corners, and then maybe TJ will get a chance to play in the nickel or, contributing when it comes to like 4 receiver set against offenses. Maybe that will happen to him. But another corner in TJ, I don't know. I just feel a little bit like I thought you guys are good. I thought you guys are good, Baltimore. I thought you guys are good with the players you have in the cornerback department. But now you got more. I just kind of feel like maybe we're neglecting other positions. Maybe we're not looking into others. Because I feel like TJ could be a starter, and maybe that's why they picked him. But as of this first year, which is how I evaluate the draft, I don't know. I kind of feel a little bit like, you sure? All right. Then we go to the 5th round, and with the 165th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Rashid Ali, running back, Marshall. We all know Derrick Henry's here on a very limited amount of time. We all know that. We know that Gus Edwards is no longer with us. We understand that year that we all remember the year when the Ravens lost all the running backs to the point they signed Devontae Freeman literally off the streets because they needed running back. They had a devastating plague of injuries to all the running backs. Justin Hill is currently the backup with Keaton Mitchell behind him, and of course Ali's there at particular 4th. He might survive his rookie season on the backs that Derrick Henry will not be here probably no more than 2 or 3 years, and then he's probably done. But unless he starts showing signs of aging or wear and tear, we don't know. I feel like Tennessee probably over-abused him since he was the biggest factor for Tennessee's success, sadly, most of the time. And when he broke that foot, I would think that was like near the end, but it didn't. But still, Derrick Henry probably is using all his energy left to have these 1 or 2 great seasons, maybe win a ring, and then be like, I did it. Maybe not the way I wanted to with Tennessee, but I did it. And then you have Ali here out of Marshall, which Baltimore has a running back by committee, and you can even say Lamar Jackson is part of that committee when it comes to rushing the ball. We all know how dangerous he can be and how graceful he just zips and zags through defensive players on the way for like a 60-yard touchdown run. We've seen that. But Ali might be too far on the depth chart to potentially make an impact right away, that he might have to make his job at a practice squad to make it. We don't know. I feel like Derrick Henry is probably the last workhorse guy in the NFL. I don't know how the Ravens are going to use him like that, like Tennessee did. but I'm just going to say that I don't know how much of an impact Ali will be able to do in his first rookie season. Maybe he'll survive, and then in his third year, he'll be competing for more playing time. But right now, I'm looking at him and thinking he might be best somewhere else. We'll see. We'll see. And I guess we'll continue that trend. So still in the 6th round with the 218th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Devin Leary, quarterback, Kentucky. I can't remember what team. I think it was Green Bay. I said Jordan Love was great in his first year, and you got a quarterback. Clearly for a backup, but I'm like, would you draft a quarterback just to be a backup? You have no projection of him being a starter, right? And I feel like Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP, so I'm just going to say that Lamar Jackson is way more important and probably way better than Jordan Love, because Jordan only had 1 year. We have no idea what's going to happen in the second year. He might be terrible. He might have his literally sophomore slump. We don't know right now. We're hoping it's not. But Lamar Jackson has a 2-time MVP. He got paid this. We got paid the money he desired, and he's still the face of the Baltimore Ravens, if not the face of most quarterbacks in today's NFL. So getting another quarterback that just screams backup only, but then you look at the depth chart, according to ESPN.com, Josh Johnson is projected to be the backup to Lamar. Leary is a 3rd stringer, and I'm just thinking you would waste, that's kind of cruel of me to say, but wasting a draft pick on a quarterback that's clearly going to be a 3rd stringer or a backup at best, and may not even be this year. You okay? You okay? I understand you want to develop young talent. I get that. But there are times where I feel like, could you have done that with an undrafted quarterback instead? Was Devin Leary so important to say we must get him now? Funny enough, it makes more sense if like these quarterbacks got picked up by a team where the quarterback is either injured prone, very old, or inconsistent, versus a 2-time MVP. That's like if the Chiefs were to draft a quarterback. It's like, why? Why drafting a quarterback? Why? What happened? What do you know? What do you mean? So that's how I feel. But we'll see what happens in preseason. Maybe he'll get the backup job, and maybe he'll become a Matt Schaub, and he'll be so valuable as a backup that some people are willing to give him up, like what they would Brock Osweiler or Matt Shaw. Both went to the Texans, funny enough. So we go to the 7th round, and with the 228th selection, the Baltimore Ravens selected Nick Samick, center. Yes, Michigan State, sorry. You got Tyler Limber recently, and you got another center. And Tyler is great. He's phenomenal. He's fantastic. So you got a center, I guess, for depth. And he's projected to be a center according to ESPN.com mock depth chart, the Ravens. So I guess you got depth. And I guess that's all you need. But as a center may not be as valuable as a center who can play guard. So who knows? Maybe Nick can play guard. A lot of centers have done that. I've seen that happen all the way around multiple times. So we'll see what happens in the preseason. If he develops, we'll see what they want to. But then a good, valuable center as a backup. I mean, look at Tampa. We lost Ryan Jensen for 2 years, and our offense has been abysmal when it comes to running the ball and the middle. Now we actually got a real center, and maybe we'll see a drastic change from being last in running to maybe top 15th in running next year. We don't know. But centers are important, and when you have no backup center, that's an actual center, not just a development offensive lineman who can play center, it is amazing what it can do. So maybe this is more of an investment for backup. But if worst case scenario, maybe be too viable to keep and he goes elsewhere. Well, no. But this year, he might just ride the bench. And sometimes that might be for the best for a rookie sometimes. We've seen that happen. And then with the last pick, with the 250th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Sanawasi Kane, safety, Purdue. You got Marcus Allen and Kyle Hamilton. Even though he's projected to be the backup behind Kyle Hamilton. So, he's a now then because I'm going based on rotation. Evaluating him beyond that just feels that, I mean, he's a late round pick, but I'm not gonna. He's 250. We all know Mr. Relevant was 256, so we all know that's very close to the end. But he still got picked off, so we know as a draft pick. That's what he can take to his grave for the rest of his life. He is now. We all know we'll see injury plaguing and consistency playing with the defensive back, but I feel like the Ravens really stocked up on the defensive back department this draft to help out with. I could kind of help feel like, well, if you can sack the quarterback, it will help out your secondary. That's how my evaluation model thinks in my brain. But Kane made the roster, more than likely special team contributor, and we'll see in rotation with Hamilton, and we'll see maybe injuries plugging. But I feel like he's a now rotation, fresh legs. We'll see. So the Baltimore Ravens, that was a very long video. They were contenders before this. This draft made me feel like they still are contenders. I don't feel as excited as other teams that are contenders with their picks. A lot of these players, I feel like they can contribute, but nothing really screams of us, yes! It just screams more like, okay, I see it. That makes sense. But nothing really makes me go excited for these rookies to make an impact. Sadly, there's no one on this team that feels that way to me. I mean, if Wiggins shows out in the preseason, has like 4 interceptions in a preseason game, and then we see him what does in his first game against whoever they play in the first week. I don't remember how this got off my head. Then, of course, I'll be excited. But none of the players here that the Ravens pick made me go, yes, that makes sense. Yeah. You're still contenders, obviously. And this roster did not hinder that. But if you go back to the AFC Championship game, at least, I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of what we expected. And this group of young men did not deteriorate that plan. So, and that's the Ravens. And that's the whole AFC North. These draft videos are long, but they are fun, so I do apologize for that. But with the North done, we're going to go to the AFC West. Yes, we're going to go straight to the West because just because you won the Super Bowl, Kansas City Chiefs, does not mean that when it comes to draft picks, you're going to be wasted. No. We're going to go to you next. The only reason I went to the North first is because Chicago went first. But now we're going to the West, and we're going to the AFC West, and I'm not sugarcoating it. We're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs next time in the first video of the AFC West. Why? Because we just gotta know how they're gonna repeat again and become the first three-peat in NFL history. Or they're not, and then we will laugh at them. Either way, it's a win-win. So until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you very much for watching.